Hey students, today's lesson is going to be on 5.2% of a number. So you will be able to find percent of a number. So there are three methods in my opinion. I kind of added a method 3. It's what I used growing up, so I'm adding it to this. Proportion is method 1, equation is method 2, and then using keywords is method 3. So proportion, what this means is that you're doing a part over a whole. Okay, so part over a whole is equal to percent over 100. So you can be solving a proportion doing this. It's really important to have this down, all right? Method 2 is an equation method. It's part equals percent times whole. So method 1 and 2 requires you memorizing this like formula or like this setup. And method 3 is understanding keywords. So is in math symbolically means equal. That's it. It means equal. So when you see the word, typically when you, especially in problems like this, when you see the word is, you're just making it equal something. And of, a lot of you guys probably already know, means multiplication. I'm going to write the word down because I don't like using X's anymore. I'm just going to put this as equal. Okay, and multiplication. So now let's use all three of these models to do some problems. I'm going to show you all three of them, and then you're going to decide which one you prefer the most. So examples 1, 2, and 3 are going to be taught all three ways. So find the missing value in each percent statement using all methods. So this is saying blank is 24% of 75. The proportion method is saying part over whole is equal to percent over 100, because that's what percent means. So it's recognizing what the part in the whole and the like all of that is. So 24% is going to be the easiest one to put in here because it's telling you that's percent. So 24 over 100. So what is 24% of 75? So 75 is going to be your whole. You're looking for which piece is 24% of 75, and in our variable is X. And you can actually mix and match and use this part equals percent times whole to help you if that works. So part equals percent times whole. Okay, so part equals percent times whole, if you're even looking at keywords. Now we'll go to the equation method in a second. And when you're solving a proportion, you're cross multiplying. So you're more than welcome to use the calculator for this. Because there's a multiplication, the equal sign means a proportion. So 100x is equal to, and I'm going to use my handy dandy calculator here. 24 times 75 is 1800. And now you guys are experts at solving for x. Is going to be divide 100. So x is going to be, or the x is going to be 18. So that is your answer, 18. Now let's do it the other two methods to get to the same place. So part equals percent time whole is you're actually just going to input numbers here to make this statement. So our part here is, that's what we're trying to find. X is equal to 24%. And this is up to you. You can write this as you guys just did like converting between percents, fractions, and decimals. So my preferred method is taking that 24% and making it a decimal, but you're more than welcome to use 24 over 100. And I kind of will go both ways here, but I may change that percent to a decimal. And now you're multiplying this by the whole, which is 75%. And you can go straight into your calculator and do 75 times 0.24. That'll give you your 18. Again, that similar setup of this is 70x is equal to 24 over 100 times 75. And that way over here, you can put this over 100. So you can just multiply the top two and then divide by 100. So multiply these. multiply this, and then divide by 100, and you're going to get the same thing. I mean, you can make me work it out. 24 times 75 is 1,800. Then divide by 100, and that'll give you x equals 18. So that's that. And as I said, my preferred method is keywords. This is what I always learned how to do. So we know that is equal to, so our unknown is x, so that's where we're putting x there. This is our unknown. X is equal to 24% is 0.24. I told you I prefer the percent. I know how to change percent to decimal very well. Of is multiplying times, I just like using the parentheses, 75. And now you're just multiplying it. These two end up being the same thing. In my brain, you're not memorizing anything. You're knowing is and of is equals and multiplying, and you're going to get x equals 18 straight up. And that's it. All right, let's do another example problem. So again, proportion is part over whole equals percent over 100. And the setup of this is a little different. 31 is 62% of what? So if they give you a percent, that's the easiest number to put in here. 62 over 100. So 31 is 62% of what? So that is going to be 31 over x this time. Your unknown is your whole. You're going to cross multiply. Maybe I should use different colors. Let's do that. Let's use the ugly green. So 62x is equal to 3,100. And again, you can use calculator if you want. Divide by 62. So x is going to equal, let's see what our whole is in this. 3,100 divided by 62 is 50. Equation is part is equal to percent times whole. So part in this is 31 is equal to 0.62. I'm not in team fractions. Sorry about that. If you are team fraction, you can do it. And our unknown is x. This time, our variable is on the right side. You just have to isolate it. So we're just going to divide by 0.62. 0.62. Make sure you divide this properly. So x is going to equal, and then when you're dividing by a decimal smaller than 1, the number is going to get larger. That's how it works. And you're going to still get 50 this way. And lastly, keywords. So it equals percent multiplying unknown. There we go. 31 is equal to 0.62 x. And I know these end up the same way. I just find it easier to get that way. I know I'm trying to convince you one way. And we know, we just did this. We just solved this here. So x is going to equal 50. No need to redo it. These are really simple equations. Either you're going to get a proportion, multiply, cross multiply, then divide. Not complicated equations to solve after what you guys have been doing. All right, last one. So this time, again, part over whole is equal to percent over 100. So this time, our unknown is our percent. So we're going to have x over 100. So what percent of 40 is 18? So 18 is your part, not because it's smaller, because you're trying to find percent of a number. This is always going to be your whole. And now we cross multiply, and we're going to end up getting 40x is equal to 1,800. Divide by 40. Maybe I should use this ugly green a lot more. X is equal to 1800 divided by 40. These are all perfect, pretty numbers right now. 45. So part is equal to percent times whole. So part is 18. Percent is our unknown. And our whole is 40 times 40. So times 4, you can write 40x or times 40. Same idea. So divide by 40. And this is, whoops, one thing I forgot to do here is put our percent in there. It is a percent, so make sure you put that percent in there. When you do this, you're going to have x is equal to 0.45. Now you're wondering, why is it a different number? This is giving you the decimal. So go back and remember what you did the last 2 days on changing a decimal into a percent. And changing a decimal into percent is multiplying by 100. So you are moving that decimal 2 places to the right. And that is something you have to be mindful of when you do it. If you don't realize that you have to change that decimal to a percent by multiplying by 100, then maybe you should use proportion method. Got to be mindful of that. And in this over here, okay, you're going to get the same equation, but our unknown is this. This is our x, our unknown. Okay, so x times 40 is and of. It's equal to 18. And one other thing you can do over here, I don't do it, this is just habit. We know that percent is over 100, so if anything, you can kind of do it this way. Again, not my preferred method. If you want to put that over 100 there to remind yourself that it is percent, you can go ahead and do it, but not something that I do. I just would like to remember. So x is, again, 0.45, and then you change it to, and it's going to be 45%. Same equation as that. All right? You decide which one makes more sense to you. They all work. Proportion, equation, keywords. Your decision, ultimately. So now you pause the video here and you choose your method and you get your correct answer anyway. Pause it. All right, welcome back. I'm going to do keyword method because you know that's my role. So I'm going to go through these problems using the keyword method. So our variable is x equals 32% multiplying. So x is 0.32, because you know me with that percent changing to decimal, times 75. Now all you're doing is multiplying. 0.32 times 75. And that is going to give you, x is 24. And you can even always test it out. 24 divided by 75 gives you, 24 divided by 75 gives you 0.32, which is 32%. It's another one. Our variable here, multiplying here, and is here. So 60x, and you can write x times 60, nothing wrong with that. I'm just flipping it around because it's easier, is equal to 90. And this is going to be a percent, guys. Percent of 60, okay? So divide by 60 to both sides. I'm not changing the colors. So 90 divided by 60 is x is 1.5, and that is not your percent. Remember, the only difference with this is you're multiplying by 100. That means you're moving this 2 places to the left. This is going to be 150%. And that makes sense. When the part is bigger than the whole, it's going to be over 100%. 90 is 150% of 60, okay? Last one here. So is of and multiply. So 36 is 0.25 x times x. So divide by 0.25. I don't know why it's so below it. 0.25. So 36 divided by 0.25 gives you 144. Okay. And again, you can always check out 36 divided by 144 will give you 0.25. All right. Let's do some word problems. Joy spent 30% of a 24-hour day at preschool. How much time does she spend at preschool each day? Give the answers as hours and minutes. Okay, so Joy spent 30% of a 24-hour day at preschool. How much time does she spend? So they're saying 30% of a 24-hour day. All right, so this is going to be 0.30 times 24. That's what you're trying to find, our x. So 24 times 0.3. So this is an unusual thing. It gives you 7.2 is equal to x. So we know it's 7 hours, but we have to figure out what 0.2 is of an hour. Okay, how many minutes is 0.2 is 20%. So 20% of 60 minutes. 0.2 times 60 will give you 12. That's going to be 7 hours and 12 minutes. The alternate way of doing this is actually changing that 24 hours to minutes right away. So that would just be 24 times 60. If you're not sure of how to do what I just did, 24 times 60 is 1,440. So now we're just going to do 0.30 times 1,440. And that gives you 432 minutes. So you still need to convert that minutes to hours. So 432 divided by 60. This doesn't really help. So ignore what I said. Or you can figure out how many 60s are in 432. And actually, it is okay because 7 times, so it is still 7.2. So you're subtracting 7 times 60 is 420. I'm going to subtract 420. You're still going to get 12 minutes that way. I don't know if you get it because this is the whole number. So multiplying 7 times 60. That gives you 420. Okay. Whichever way, but this is asking for hours and minutes, not just 7.2, because 7.2 means nothing in terms of time. And one more. I think one more. Yes, one more. Tom left a $2.50 tip after eating his meal at a restaurant. If he tipped 15%, how much did his original meal cost? Okay, so this is saying 15% of the original meal is $2.50. So that's what it is saying. 15% of unknown is $2.50. That's what this question is saying. He left at $2.50. So this is representing $2.50. So this is going to be 0.15 times x is 2.50. It's just how I roll, honestly. 0.15 divided by 0.15. So 2.5 divided by 0.15 will give you x equals 16.67, so $16.67. Yeah, 2.5 divided by 0.15. Yeah, okay. That's what it is, $16.67. All right, and you can always check it out. 16.67 times 0.15 gives you 2.5005. It's a repeating decimal, so what are you going to do with this? All right, thanks for joining me. I hope it helped.